Welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems Podcast. Let's get it.
Unified Media Podcast, Health, Wealth, Corporation. Season 4, Episode 10. We begin this episode with touching base on this specific topic. Our discussion will revolve around the importance of mental health and physical health, solidifying your family's foundation through wealth building to leave a strong legacy, and the corporations who are set up through malice, greed, and corruption. The capitalistic system meant to enslave you. Like and share this video to those who will find this information useful. Tune into the show once a week, every Sunday, a little after 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, where we have raw, uncut, open discussions that can range with insightful and educational information across the board. Other episodes would include past and current events, trending topics, conspiracy, personal journey, and so much more. We also invite special guests to shed light on who they are and what professional industry they are in. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, email Dropping Gems Podcasting with your name, business, industry, social media info, and brief bio. Hosted by yours truly, ONTL Dewan Aki, and myself, JL The Truth. Support the show by subscribing to the channel and, of course, hitting the notification bell. Aki, we were gone for 2 weeks. We were just having a bright conversation behind the scenes in accordance to some of the things that we're witnessing around us, whether it be our family or peers. You said something in the case of one of your creative friends, how you see something within myself and the nature of how I'm handling my creative endeavors and how you see it. You're seeing it opening up. You're seeing the momentum. You're seeing it work. You foresee something even more special down the line, and you want to apply that same effort. No pun intended, right? Same effort into your peers and your family around you. What are you doing as the leader of your tribe to be able to not only balance being a husband, a father, but also being a leader within your pack to inspire others around you?
Oh man, Aki. Oh man, I'll say this. I could be doing more. And that's not a knock to myself. That's just me knowing potentially what I am capable of, and then reassuring my confidence in my capabilities, right?
Right.
I can be doing definitely more, but what I am doing is trying my best to lead by example with still keeping myself, my authentic self. Now, to go ahead and answer that in a way where, break it down, like I said, I have a friend, and he claims himself to be an actor. And, I don't tell him he's not. I don't say that. Hey, man, you an actor? That's what you do, bro. But what I see where I'm trying to help, I've shown him, I've even, assisted in improvisation with him to show him how him being an actor and what he can do to gain what he's trying to get, because he always comes into me while I'm at work and like, yo, what's up, man? Like, man, what's up, man? We around all of these, big people, and what I'm saying, when we get in our shot, when we go get our shot, and I tell him, I'm like, hey man, I'm getting my shot right now, honestly. What I mean? And it's just not in the formal way of what it is. People know I do music, but they don't know to what capacity of music that I do. I don't tell everybody in there what I'm doing when it comes to music. They do know that I have a podcast though, so they can see me on the podcast Dropping Gems and when we review music on Center Stage. So I tell my friend, like, hey, look, man, you just need to create content, bro. You see how we just did this little scenario, which there was a lady who drove up to the window. She's trying to check into the thing. She asked him some type of question. I can't remember right away, but he was trying to answer it to his best abilities. Without trying to say the whole deal, and then he just tapped me on the shoulder and I just jumped right in there, and I was doing something totally different, and I was able to take away from what I was doing right here, jump into the conversation that they were having, apply myself and what my knowledge was in it, and then give the and being able to help the lady, got her a laugh, gave her a thing, and she really, felt good energy and stuff like that. So I had told him that as an example, hey, look, man, you see what we just did right here? That was a formal way. Now imagine if it was recorded and everybody got to see us do that in action, right? Imagine if you sat there and strategically said, you know what, I'm about to play this role, or I'm about to do this. I'm about to upload all of my auditions on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, so people can go ahead and see where I'm starting at, what I'm doing, and get reactions from it, right? I'm telling him this because, one, I see JR doing it. I see you doing it, Aki. I know it works. I've been a part of it,
Right.
part of the process. You know what I'm saying? For almost 3 years. Actually, I think it's probably more than that now. It's like 4 years now, or almost 4 years now. So, I'm like, I've seen what it looks like to sit down, figure out an idea, create the content, and then, get the feedback you want. There's a video me and my brothers did. I don't have a lot of lines. I probably only have like 2 lines in it, but my body language is acting in it. And it was one of those scenes where me and my brothers, we were getting ready for a party. Like, my little baby brother calls me like, hey, yo, he's calling me and my brother Wan. He's like, yo, we got a party that we about to go to, man. It's going to be a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things up in there. We got to look right. So then he comes over, and then and when he comes in the house, we're both sitting down, in we in pretty much pajamas. We ain't even dressed and ready to hit the party or nothing. And he's like, man, what y'all got on, man? We ain't going to no party like this. And then the scene switches, and now you see all of us walking out, flied in the mug. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? We ready, about to hit the party. And the feedback we got was so substantial that everybody is still to this day trying to wait for a part 2. They want to see the party now. They want to see when we arrive to the party, what happens at the party. Right?
I love that.
Even though it's just a small skit that we did as a highlight reel of our abilities to do something, it gained attractiveness because of the ability to do it, and it was strategically done. And so this is what I'm explaining to my friend, like, bro, you can do this, man. If you really need help, I can help you. Like, I have a camera. I can set the camera up. I can film you. If you need a stand-in, I can help you on out, because I know it's going to work. I'm watching someone do the exact same thing you're trying to do and getting to where you're trying to go, do it, and he's successful at it. And I'm like, guy's been doing it for pretty much about the same amount of time. Bruh, I think he's already in his 40s.
Yeah,
but he looked like he's still at the late 20s. You know what I mean? So it's
and that's great for the nature of this particular industry. You know what I mean? Because what ends up happening, what's up, sir? What ends up happening is, if you're able to play 10 years your senior, you know what I mean? That's beneficial for you and the roles that you can book. Now, what's so incredible about the year of social media and live streaming, when it comes to live streaming in general, we have opportunities that have never been presented before. Welcome in, Unified.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Feel free to chime in on the chat and ask any questions in regards to health, wealth, and corporation. We're going to get right into it here in a second. But where I was headed was in live streaming, Aki, the way I'm foreseeing it, as somebody who feels that I'm gonna eventually be a pioneer also in the space. You got the successful stories now, but in terms of like pioneers in utilizing the tool in a way that's never been utilized before, and I'm gonna explain. I was over on an app called Favorited, which is the competition to TikTok. It's a US based company out in the West Coast where you are at, Aki, and it's run by three young males. And the opportunities over there are endless. You get 70-30 as a creator. You get 70%, they get 30%. of everything that's thrown in the room. I know boxes probably the percentage is a little different. They get a little bit more in terms of like gifts that are received through the boxes, which is great for people who are being supported in a stream full of boxes. There's not a discovery algorithm yet where there's a lot of traffic. But if you've cultivated an audience or community of support from a different platform and can redirect the traffic over to another platform, you're going to be okay. Which hence, this is what happened yesterday. I was doing my 3-year anniversary of live streaming, and I decided to do an event called the Podium Push. Now, the Podium Push is just a cool name for getting into the ranks, pushing for top 3. We hit number 3 during the reset at midnight, Friday midnight into Saturday morning. We pushed for 2 hours. We were number 3. We held probably number 4 and number 5 relatively for most of the time. And then we finished at number 11, which was, do I think we could have probably finished at top 3? Absolutely, because of the average that I had in my mind that I typically do, which is around 350,000 diamonds. And the number 3 spot was probably like at the time like 343 or something like that. So we definitely would have held the number 3 spot. Probably would have finished at probably number 4 to wrap it up. But that's to say all this. Through the nature of that opportunity, there was a lot of new people coming in, discovering us, including the people that were also in the ranks, which if you're in a battle with somebody that's also in the ranks, they have a huge support system and they're discovering you. Right. And that's how you kind of redirect their support into your support. So then I noticed something happened yesterday, and I don't think anybody caught this from the group, but I'll catch it and give you guys the gem. There was a woman named Rose from the East Coast, from New Jersey. I think she's in Connecticut or something like that. And she goes, "Oh, I educate people on how to succeed in this space. And it's coming around full circle for me." And she goes, "These are the pinpoints on how to be successful." She mentions, check this out, Aki, and Serve. I know this shit's probably going to hit home for both of you guys. She goes, 1, you need to offer value.
Of course.
Two, there has to be a level of authenticity that you're bringing through your personality. 3, it's entertainment. Right? So she said value, entertainment, and authenticity. And obviously consistency is always in there. But one of the bullet points that she says that went over a couple of y'all heads probably, because I know not everybody was probably locked in the way I was. But when I interact, I pay attention to everything that comes out of somebody's mouth, especially in a discussion like that. She goes, you have to find ways to emotionally connect in a way that's going to make them stick, and in a way that's going to make them want to go wherever you choose to go, whether it be favorited, TikTok, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. There is an emotional pinpoint, a desire that if you know how to reach people properly through your strengths, through live streaming, people are going to go wherever you choose, wherever they need to go with you, to be able to receive what they need to receive, because that's the value that you bring. Hence, this is why we have everybody amazingly from Unified right now, who were probably with me, most likely 90% of them in the chat were with me during the push. And thank you so much for that contribution, those efforts, the love and support. I got emotional, guys. And I had an emotional moment. I let out some tears or whatever the case may be. I was overwhelmed with the 3 years of hard work, the ups and downs, and then the dealing with just being who I am wholeheartedly as somebody. And you guys know this, the cloth of individual I am, where I want to focus on helping others succeed and helping you guys reach the nature of what you guys need to reach based on your abilities and grabbing your potentials and instilling the confidence and giving you guys the tools, the information, the resources, and applying them in real time together. So that way we could reach heights that nobody else sees.
Mhm.
And then you get people in between that through those 3 years where, or just in life in general, where you're pouring into people and they find a way to shit on your parade and disappoint you. So I was overwhelmed. I let it all out. And then I acknowledged most of them that were in there, and I gave them bulletproof points. Again, reaching emotion. But this was authentic. This was not me just doing it for the sake of doing it. I was reaching a certain, I was giving them the certain acknowledgement of each of them individually, of why I knew we were meant to connect, and that TikTok is just a vehicle of connection. And I'm utilizing the tool of TikTok to connect and find a way to bulletproof that emotion. And through that emotion, cultivate and expand that emotion to create people around us that are like-minded, and expand our mind and have a different perspective when we wake up. I've realized that through the nature of this, and I told Aki this, Serve, one of the biggest things that I've picked up is that this podcast, this community, this live streaming has somewhat saved me, healed me, and given me clarity in things that I've never thought I need clarity in. And now that it's therapeutic and I look forward to it, whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, when we need a break or whatever, I know that it's necessary for our own personal growth as three brothers, and it's necessary for the community that's locked in with us every single day, because sometimes people need individuals in their lives that are going to provide them something that they're not receiving nowhere else. And I'm going to explain something to you guys that are in the chat, in the community. Our friends, our families are right now utilizing social media for the sake of utilizing social media to showcase the favorite parts of their life, which is inauthentic. It's not truly who they are. They're just showing you the highlight version of their true versions, right? They're not giving you the full spectrum, the full scope, the transparency, the humility of their day-to-day. We are, because what we do, team, we go into the Discord and we have our day-to-day, whether it be business related, community related, or life related. And then we have a way to connect with each other where we lean on each other to uplift each other whenever we're facing those trials and tribulations that life likes to offer us, right? So I tell people this: when life is throwing you bricks, you grab the brick, you lay the shit down. You grab the brick, you lay it down. And what ends up happening is that you end up creating stones and steps towards something higher and something more special. I'm telling you guys, and I don't want to get emotional again, but I'm telling you guys, this platform, these two brothers that I've been rocking with before I created the Unified Agency, before I created Soul Fam, these two brothers right here cultivated and inspired and instilled in me something that evolved into what we've all created today. And there's nothing else more special than that.
Can't get, and that's part of the health. That's part of the healthiness that I know. Like I was already ready to tie it right back.
Yeah, 100%.
This is what we do. This is what we do. You know, because the health. You mentioned your health benefits. You healing through this process of doing this every day, connecting and communicating and connecting with the community and other people, and utilizing the platforms in a way, because as we know, like you stated earlier too, a lot of what's going on around in the world, what you see on social media, what you see on the news, what you see when you look outside your front door, that's some of these things are very, very overwhelming, and are becoming big detriments to our health, both
Yeah.
physically, mentally, and spiritually, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of us eat just out of necessity, not even hungry. We just eating because we want to. We don't know what else to do. We're bored. A lot of us is doom scroll on social media, looking at stuff which is depleting some of our dopamine because it's too much, and it don't know how to react well. And the simple fact that we're dealing with our spiritual health. Our spirits are becoming broken because so many things are happening that it's causing a form of confusion and weakness. So your spirit hasn't been strong. But like you said, when we are in a community and we having this discussion like how we're doing now when it comes to this podcast, this is how we're rebuilding our spirit back. Like, this is how we're strengthening our spirit back, because now we have a community of supporters who we lean on each other to, help keep us in line. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, if I lean this way, but I'm gonna still have to get pushed back this way. I lean this way, I'm still getting pushed back to the center. It's like, no, keep straight,
Mhm.
keep going. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you said that, Aki. And even though I wasn't knowing, I could see all of the notifications and the things like that was going down when you were doing your live stream, and and like you said, it's working in a way because of how motivating it is. And I look forward to this shit every time, Maki. I look forward to this shit every time. Sometimes it could be annoying. I know it's people is like, damn, bro, you doing all of this, but you ain't getting paid for nothing. It's like, it's not about being paid for it, man. Honestly speaking, I'm not doing this just to want to get paid, bro. I'm honestly doing it because it's a part of who I am. I am a person that can speak. Sometimes it's hard for me to communicate. I don't know. I'm not the excellent communicator, but I can speak. I know how to talk. I can commune with you. But even for me still, it's always different. But the main factor, the main thing about this one is that there's not enough men, especially black men in the word America, and the black man, where we're sharing vulnerable moments with each other, where we're sharing some dark times that we've went through, and now understanding, what we learned from those times that we've went through. This all right here is what is the most healthiest thing that I can say happens when it comes down to us doing what we're doing in the community that we're in and what we're building right here. Because like we were saying before we got on here, Aki, man, we only can say it so much, you know what I mean? We only can say it so much, but it's like I truly appreciate you gentlemen because of this opportunity to be here. This opportunity here. And just speaking, I've always known I wanted to do something like that. I just never knew an approach. And I feel like, me personally, I can have my own, I can do my own thing, right? I can record myself, talk, do whatever. But for me, because of the type of person I am, it doesn't help me just rambling about my life, telling you all of my stuff, showing you all these things. That don't help me. It's, what do you think? What do you say? What do you see? What are you pointing out? What do you know what I'm saying? What information can you help me see that I'm not seeing? Maybe it's something I'm not paying attention to. Maybe you can, what I'm saying, in our conversation, you might say something profound that sparks something in me that gives me something more profound to say back, right? Those type of back and forth things right there is a great health standard. And I'm glad that it's helping you heal, and you've been healing through this, Aki, because we've been on a journey.
I'll tell you what, in regards to health, us having the healthy relationships that we have also helps towards our health. Because if you have a damaging relationship with somebody and they're physically, mentally, and spiritually abusing you, that's not detriment to your health, mentally, physically, or spiritually. So that all comes and ties into accordance that you need healthy relationships that are going to be beneficial to your mind, body, and spirit
Always.
on all levels. and I wouldn't have it any other way. In terms of health, guys, if anybody's in the chat, I want you guys to take. I want you guys to grab a notebook and take this down. This is going to be the note of the week. I want you to take one bad thing that you're eating right now, food wise. I want you to grab one bad thing that you're eating right now, food wise. I want you to remove it from your diet, and I want you to replace it with something healthy, whatever that looks like. If there's a particular fruit that you should be buying right now, go to the store, go to a farmer's market, grow vegetables, grow the fruits in your backyard, and utilize that and eat that and consume that right now. That's the one thing I want you to do. I want you to take out one bad thing that you're eating right now and replace it with a fruit that you enjoy, and start incorporating yourself where you actually make a list of healthy things that you should be eating. They give you the perception that eating healthy is expensive. That's a lie. That's a lie. I can go into a Winco right now, right?
One of my favorite stores, by the way.
And when you go to the back, there's a section where it has all the fresh nuts, walnuts, seeds, and all these things, dark chocolates and things like that.
By the pound.
That you can actually weigh by the pound, and you can weigh fresh peanut butter that doesn't have all the additives, and nonsense and things in it. Go to that back area, wherever your fresh market is, and get it by the pound, and start incorporating that into your diet, and throw that into your oatmeal, and throw your fruits on top of that. And you'll see how your morning deliverance will start to feel better. Because I'm going to tell you what's making you groggy, making you sick, making you tired. It's not the workload. It's what you're eating. And when you're eating clean, like Dirt Road is mentioning down below, when you're eating clean, you're fueling your body, giving it the nutrients and the nutriments that is necessary in order to be able to tackle the physical load of your day. So I want you guys to take those notes. I know
I can concur, just as an example. So for the past few days, the one thing that I used to do, we all like cereal, we all like pancakes, eggs, those things that they told us were for breakfast, right? But
right.
what I'm realizing is, I took a class the other day, a CPR class. The instructor was very well informed and a very great instructor, because he wasn't the type to sit there and use big old words that are complicated. He used simplicity. And in part of that, what I've learned is that people who deal with high blood pressure, who deal with, eating a lot of things that clog your arteries and stuff like that. The one thing he said was, what you're doing. It's bad for you, and what's good for you, but yet you still choose to eat that. And then when you go see the doctor, you're complaining, crying, and whining about the results that you are given, right? And when he said that, it really made me think about it, because a lot of people who deal with high blood pressure, hypertension, who deal with obesity, weight, 43%, this is in America, 60% of Americans are obese. 43% of those Americans are overweight. Out of 300 and something billion people, that's a lot of people. That's a lot. That's a lot of, those numbers are very high when it comes to looking like that, right? And 76% of America deals with chronic kidney disease. Do you know what a chronic kidney disease is?
No.
Your kidneys are functioning, over functioning, because of the amount of salt and water intake that you have, the potassium that you're having. So when it comes down to your health, you changing stuff out, you changing certain small things, stop consuming stuff at certain time periods, it allows you different energy. This past few days, and ever since I took that class, I've been detoxing. I've actually swallowed papaya seeds, and I'm watching what it does to my digestive system. I wake up and drink some water first. Now there's some coconut water, or just drinking some water to actually hydrate the body and flush their body out, right? And what I've realized that when doing so is that I'm actually more mentally alert. My brain is more like focused, because in that class, when I say I was focused and attentive, bro, I'm watching every move he say, listening to every word he's saying and things like that. And I was able to repeat most of what he was able to say the same way he said it. My mental sharpness was getting there, right? Becoming more clear. A lot of times when you eat all of those things like that, it blocks and turns off certain functions of your body that doesn't allow you to perform at a high rate, like you were saying. So you thinking that me not eating any cereal or all of those other things, and even processed foods, and just drinking water, taking fluids. One, I've already went down probably about 5 pounds already from these last few days, just from doing that alone. I seen my energy levels. Sugar is the number one killer. Exactly. Because most of the food, especially here in America, has some form of sugar in it, and especially bread, rice, milk, and cheese. All of those different things have a high content amount of sugar, and cheese is one of the things that has this. I forgot the exact name, but it has an additive in it that actually makes you addicted. And which is why they push milk, cheese, and bread to people. Watch, it's easier to make stuff because there's an additive inside of it, along with lard and cheese, that allows you to become addicted to it, and is why you can't stop it. Sour cream, yogurt, all of those different things. Now, I'm not saying you can't eat it. What I'm saying is, because
Minimize.
you have to minimize, and you have to just recognize what you're doing, and you really have to be focused at what you're doing and intentionally wanting to change that, because health is very vital. What happened is, and then I'll let you finish, Aki, is I'm just having a few health scares within my family from these and within these past few weeks, that I'm watching family members, saying closely, just becoming non-existent anymore. And it's worrying me, because it's happening at a fast and rapid rate. It's not like it's just boom. I'm in a group chat with a family, bro, and I'm listening to and watching my auntie have to sit here and have seizures back to back to back while also in the hospital. Now, this lady deals with lupus. Lupus is another disease. Lupus actually could be reversed with a diet change, because lupus is just the failure of your lymphatic system, when your lymphatic system is what detoxifies and cleans out all of the shit that don't belong in you. You get what I mean? So because she has a hard time doing that, it's causing other health issues within her body, but she never wants to really change how she wants to eat. So it's like, hey, I'm sad for you, auntie. But at the same time, certain things you just have to learn to change. And unfortunately, she can't be as physically mobile as she used to be, which is what's making it worse for her to heal.
Right.
Because it's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So being on a healthy weight, man, please, like JR said, find something that that you feel like you can't live without. Take that and change it for something else.
I love that we have Nora in here, and we pray that the family scares that you have are able to be reversed and overcome. That's why it's so important to get that book that I purchased. When it came to being able to reverse some of these side effects and these diseases. Look up anything that has to do with herbal medicine and natural things that you can literally buy or grow yourself, and apply them to your teas, apply them to your day consumption, because health is wealth, ironically, because you can't even enjoy the fruits of your labor or hope to see a lifespan of 90, 100 years unless you take care of yourself. Now,
real quick, Aki, I'm sorry.
You're
very important.
No, go. Give me
in the video we had to watch. It was again, I'm taking a CPR class. This is how to help someone come back from something that, from losing consciousness, or just having what they called a cardiac arrest. I heard the term. I never really understood it. I never really knew what it meant. But a cardiac arrest is pretty much you just die right now before you even hit the ground. Before you fall, your heart just completely turns off. You just completely turn off. You die. right? Which then is a lot of times is when you're giving somebody CPR, your objective is chest compressions in order to get their heart to beat back again, right? That's what you're
Right.
trying to do to get it to beat back again, right? So this little girl was a 17-year-old volleyball player, man. 17 years old, athlete, volleyball player, had a cardiac arrest during a game.
That's crazy.
And you would think like, man, this is a kid. Like they should, children, when you think about it, if you have children, they come out.
Their immune system is right now, unfathomed because it's naturally
brand new. You know what I mean?
It
ain't been ran through. It ain't
supposed to be. That's supposed to be Jackie Chan before Jackie Chan. Blocking, blocking all them shit.
So but prior to that, she had been complaining about different type of symptoms like chest pains and sharp pains shooting down from the left arm down all the way, to there, having numbness and certain things. So she was having an underlying heart problem anyway, and her heart, because it was overworked, just completely died on her because she's out there playing a volleyball game, which requires exertion.
Wow.
Which requires pumping of the heart, right? So it is very vital. Like I said, it was more not like a scare, it was more like a wake-up call, like, hey, it's time to get serious and make sure you continue to stay serious and not lose focus of seriousness. I've always known this, but it was just one of those things where, like I said, because I was alert, I didn't have anything to slow my brain down. My cognitive function was very at a heightened level where I was alert and able to understand, comprehend, and then assess and retain the information. That it was almost like smack. Boom. Oh, you know what? I'm back to reality now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was in la la land. Now I come back to reality. That's all I'm saying is that you want to try to minimize a lot of those reality making moments where you have to get snapped back into reality, because sometimes your snap back into reality can be very detrimental, and your reality might actually be somewhat totally different. Shout out to my man Dirt Road. Like he said, he had a heart attack 3 years ago and it changed his life. That heart attack, he praised Yahweh that you were able to succumb to that, you know what I mean? And you're still here with us today, because a lot of people don't make it back from that. You know what I mean? That's why it's very important and it's very healthy. So there you go, Aki. I just had to throw that in.
No, I appreciate that. And this is why we have these discussions. They're very important. I know one thing I want to note, because of Miss Nora's mentioning sea salt. There's another thing. Maybe you guys can help me with. Isn't there like a jam that's well known, and it comes almost formed in like a jelly.
Talking about sea moss.
Sea moss.
Yes,
sea moss, guys. Get your hands on some sea moss. That shit will reset your system. Use it weekly. It'll reset your system. Miss Hall, welcome in. It says my husband is having a heart and kidney transplant because he did not take care of himself. And these things are very, very important, guys. This is somebody who is in my community that is very, very special, and I'm going to tell you why. One, she just started a new 3D printing business. Two, she's a grandma. 3, she's a wife. 4, she's catering into a husband that's fighting for his life. 5, she goes into the stream and gives us high energy and smiles every single day. And look what she's battling.
Like as if nothing is going on around her.
Like nothing. Like if there's nothing. Like there's not even. She's not even batting an eye to all this negativity. She's taking all of that shit and fighting through it like a warrior. And this is why I say, I mentioned this in a stream where I told the community, I said, you guys have to start loving and caring for your people and paying attention a lot more, having more courtesy, having more generosity, having more love, having more support for people. Because everyone is battling secretly something behind the scenes that is detriment to their entire existence. Forget health, just life existence in general. David Gaming says, my middle son's dad had a heart attack at 28. He was gone for almost 30 minutes. This is Mary, by the way. Mary, it's good to see you, honey. Shout out to Mary. Shout out the whole squad that's here right now. And see, these are, look, Mary is somebody that's, high energetic, same thing, going through the motions, but comes in every day with a smile on her face, chip on her shoulder, very competitive at what she does, and is now our #1 earner and one of our number one supporters in the community and the agency. She's absolutely amazing. So the cloth of individuals that are in the chat right now, what I've realized, they all commonly have they all commonly have strong traits.
Yes.
And that's why I know that's why they're here listening, gathering the information, so that way they can apply it and be able to take cautious and more efficient ways to take care of their health. So definitely get some sea salt. Definitely get some. What was the other one you mentioned?
Sea moss.
Sea moss.
Oh, sea moss and sea salt. Get your hands on some sea moss and sea salt.
It's another form of salt too, and it has a higher absorption rate. So when you take Celtic salt with water, it absorbs your water a lot more stronger in a say, if that's a good word to use. But yeah, it just the absorption rate for that allows you to absorb a lot more, so you can stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Now, Serve, you've been kind of quiet, just kind of soaking up and digesting some of this information. What are some of the key points that you think that you can remove from your diet to let us know something that you're actually eating that's actually not good for you, why you like it or why you consume it, and then what are you considering to make one of those replacements?
Honestly, it's bread. I love bread, and it's very hard to get rid of bread. Like when he said, I'm like, damn, man, like, do I really like bread this much, or is it just something? And I thought about it. I'm like, oh, he right. Like it's very addictive. So I was like, yes, bread is something I want to remove out of there because one, if you notice, it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest that you can buy it. You get so much of it, especially like where I work at. We giving you all 2 loaves of bread for the price of like $5. So it's like, bro, like right now, if you all go to Costco's, I can give you like 2 things of bagels, but the bagels only last for about a week. But you got all these bagels, and these bagels ain't small now. I'm talking about you can get this to a homeless person and feed them like that, but guaranteed you're not finna finish them in a week. So yes, bread is one thing. What I plan on removing that and now is more so like having my fruit. I love a lot of fruit. Like if I become a fruitarian, I swear I would do that. Just have fruit
That's
every
natural
single
for
day.
us. That's natural for us anyway.
And that's originally what our bodies are supposed to have. We're not supposed to be eating meat at all. Our teeth are not even designed for cut like ripping shredded meat. It's not for it. It was for fruit. That's all it was for. It was for fruit. You know what I mean? Like when you hear Adam and Eve, when we go back to that book in Genesis, you all don't hear about Adam and Eve eating meat. Did you hear anything about him having a rib? You didn't hear anything about no burger or nothing like that. You heard about him having what? Fruit. That's why I was like, come on, stop playing with me now.
The only time we heard rib Serve was when they said that they took a rib from man to make woman.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it. Took a rib.
That's my rib right there.
That's the only
rib right there. That's the only rib we eat. That's it. A piece of woman.
So, from that perspective, it just made me understand. I was like, okay, so yeah, we're just supposed to be eating fruit. So I was loving the conversation. That's why I'm just soaking this up because I'm like, I love what you all are saying. Now what I have done is I'm having dragon fruit. Dragon fruit, that's something that's drinking over here. So I have dragon fruit to go ahead and work on my gut, build up my immunity system. I'm realizing now when you do go into some of like these health stores, you do want to get herbs. Find out what herbs do what. Do your research first. So now once you go ahead and do that research, when you go into these stores, you'll know what these herbs are doing. Like he said, here it is. I got Ewan over here taking papaya seeds. You're taking papaya seeds, and this is working on immunity. I was like, for me, I take black seed oil. I'm using black seed oil. I'll take like a teaspoon of that. Yeah. I'll take that per day. So therefore, this is working on the immunity because I want my system to go ahead and build up natural immunity. I don't want to take all these other things. Majority of what we have on a daily basis, when you brought up about cheese, you got yellow 5. You have what's that? Yellow 5 was red 4. You have so many dyes that's in these things. Mm-hmm. And that's very hard for us to get out of our system because this is something that we grew up on as kids. Why is it addictive now? Because we grew up on this stuff as kids. I remember back in the day, I was having Flamin' Hot, them Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Could never get rid of those. You go to every corner store, you got Flamin' Hot Cheetos. That's for everybody to get. And one of the main dyes that's in there is red 5. you can't get rid of it because of
And
like that's one of the things you have it.
and red 5, that or red 40, whatever it is, that dye specifically is a dye that is detrimental for children, because what it does, it pretty much makes them function at a higher rate and not ever have focus. Like they can't function focused wise. It allows them to be hyperactive in doing the most foolish thing, and children are naturally foolish, and foolish just means to be silly and do, silly stupid stuff. And so imagine giving your child something that not they're naturally going to be this way, and then you give them something that spikes it and make it go hella high, and then they don't know how to react to it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that happened. Now, I do want to say, when it comes down to bread, you should do some more research, because not all bread is bad for you, and there is certain breads that you have that have live germs in it, that allows you the fiber that you're supposed to have for the bread. I know the one bread that is very, very healthy for you, but does not have the most pleasant taste, and that's called Ezekiel bread. It does not have the most pleasant taste. It's more like a bland bread, but it has a live germ in it, prebiotic germ in it, that allows your body to intake the fiber from it, and allows you to, become hydrated that way, so you can, your body can do what it needs to do from that fiber. But it does not taste good at all, and I can tell you that because I've had it, especially as a kid. I know what it's like. We had to do it. And sourdough too. Great job, Fallon. Thank you so much. That was going to be my next bread too. Thank you so much, Fallon. Sourdough is very good for you as well. And a lot of when it comes down to bread, you just want to stay away from bleached and fermented for that bread that's like fermented and bleached and stuff like that. That's white bread. You don't want to consume white bread, because it has taken out all of the nutrients from the bread. Has been taken out. It's been bleached. It's been drained out. It has went through a process where now it doesn't have the life that is supposed to have in it. If you're going to do anything, sourdough and any bread that are wheat bread, there's natural wheat in it, you can get those, but your consumption of it still cannot be high. It still has to be more balanced.
Love that, Aki. I appreciate that information, chat. I'm glad you guys got some game down below. Now you just got to add that game, apply it, and then head to the gym and exercise. Let's talk about how incorporating after eating well, it is necessary to move your body. If you're not going to get to the gym, what I would suggest you do, every time you get out of work, give me 30 minutes. This is note number 2. Give me 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour, whichever one, pick one, and walk in your neighborhood. Walk.
Try to take 10,000 steps at least.
Walk.
At least.
Walk for me.
And that's walking around your block. You can walk around. If you live in an apartment complex, walk around your apartment complex. You have a parking structure, walk up and down the parking structures and up the stairs if you have one. You get what I mean? Like, those are simple things that you can do, and that can happen. A walk to me and my wife, we both love that where we just moved to from our other place. Like, we can walk to our local mall. We can walk to the Target.
Run it up.
To drive. We can just walk, and especially on days where it's not too hot out. We take the children and let's walk. We walking. We all walk.
Love that. I take the family to Scissortail Park, and we walking our asses off through the park, around the park, in through the park, monkey bars through the park, like everything. We do everything. I'll be the only one in there. I'll be the only grown up in there with the kids in the kiddie park and all that. I'm jumping over shit I shouldn't be jumping over, thinking my bones are still intact. But until I wake up the next morning, everything's going letting me know exactly
what here doing Omarion and shit.
Doing Omarion right. Listen, on that note, team, I want you guys, if there's any investment, after walking, after taking one thing that you want to replace for something healthy, I want you to purchase this book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on TikTok. If you're going to get it on TikTok, make sure that somebody from the community that has TikTok shop has the link to this book, and support them by purchasing this book so they can get a commission on it. But this is called The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. Now, in this book of The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies by Claude Davis and Nicole Pillion, who has a PhD, this is the healing power of plant medicine. It has a full context of everything that you can grow naturally for yourself in the comfort of your home, or purchase naturally through other resourceful companies. And this will help you reverse side effects and 90% of all diseases. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Nora. I appreciate that. It says here, water in the morning with a banana in the morning is a game changer. Absolutely. Now there is a certain banana. There's a mini
bananas.
What are they called, Aki?
I don't know if I'm actually saying it right, but they're called burro bananas or burro bananas.
There you go, burro bananas. Look it up. ChatGPT it if he's saying it wrong, but he knows exactly what he's talking about. You get yourself on those bananas. You get that water with electrolytes, and you walk your ass off and get it in, man. But yes, the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies will change your life. If anybody in your family has cancer, please get this book. Please get this book and apply yourself, man. It'll change your life.
You know,
go ahead, sir.
One of the things that you all are talking about, especially, it was something that you all had mentioned earlier about waiting till it's too late.
Yeah.
Why do we do that as human beings? We wait until the very end, until shit really hits the fan. That's when you take it serious. Why do we wait to that?
You have no. It's almost like. I don't know exactly why, but I'll say this because I have been dealing with that with family members and everything like that. It is when you are given the opportunity to make a choice on what you would like, most of the time, and how most of us have grew up is going with what is comfortable, because your brain is the biggest deceiver that you have, bro. This is just the multiple deceiver, because it's a protector. So it's going to help you try to make life easy. So with that, you keep going until I get it. I know I'm gonna do it next time. I'm gonna do it this one. It's like nah, bro. You're not understanding the value in it. And so a lot of times when it's that last minute, the last minute is the ultimate scare, and then it triggers your mind to go, oh, well, I know I don't want to die, and so therefore, what do I have to do in order to do it? And you're forced to have to make a change within your whatever it is that you have to do. And that's why a lot of times is people feel more comfortable waiting until last minute, because then it's kind of like I'm forced to have to do it now, and then better than to say, you know what, this is happening, let me make this change right now and be, you know what I'm saying, try to do my best to stay consistent. But it's very hard and difficult, and based off of you as an individual, your upbringing and your surroundings. Yeah, you are your worst enemy. Based off of all of those key factors, that's where, like I said, you just get comfortable, bro. And comfortability, it pays a hefty price, bro. It pays a hefty price.
You're comfortable, you're complacent, you procrastinate. The system has a way, and we're gonna definitely get into wealth and we're gonna definitely get into wealth building next after the intermission and corporation with malice, greed, and corruption next when we get back. But you get complacent, you get comfortable, and you do a lot of procrastination. And the two things that end up being life-changing will be either you getting the death scare, you going to jail will wake your ass up quick. You know what I mean? I remember 20 years ago when I was, 18 turning 19, and I got locked up. I got my felony. I got an assault charge. I got a drug charge. I was doing fucking, I was doing a bid on Rikers Island. Then I didn't want to be there forever. So I took a probation deal with a couple of months of good time, 6 months, 5 years probation. I did 4 months on Rikers Island, and I was seeing people doing skid bids. Now a skid bid is like it's like you doing a year and then you coming home. There was people doing skid bids that was doing shit in there that they shouldn't be doing, if y'all get my drift, and then calling their wifey and talking about, I'm gonna be home soon, and they doing shit with,
right.
Yeah, that they shouldn't be doing. You're not even doing life, and you out here acting a fool. And that was me seeing things at 19, which gave me perspective, on, all right, this is the life of the birds. You know, the caged birds, the caged animals. If I'm gonna be any animal, I want to be free, and I want to be running my own jungle, so to speak, right? So the minute I learned that lesson, you know, I was able to. I came home. I remember doing 5 years probation, going from now, mind you, I wasn't even supposed to be living in Jersey. I was in probation in New York City, leaving Jersey once a month for the last 5 years, going to go see my probation officer, like clockwork. Like clockwork, bro.
Yeah, you was like, you was dedicated.
If there was any dedication, that was probably the most dedicated I was at 19 years old. Had the most. I'm gonna see my probation officer
because you ain't trying to go back.
I ain't going back, and I never did, you know. And I thank Yahweh. I thank Yahweh. I thank the guidance of the few people that I had in my corner. And then I remember 2 years after that, you know, meeting, you know, my kid's mother, you know, who I would probably say the love of my life. You know, she's been with me for over 20 years already. I mean, Stanley, almost 20 years, 18, 19 years. And she brought back to me who I was as a child, as a teenage kid who had the potential to take over his world. She brought that back to me. Did it take me a while to evolve and become that? Absolutely, because the system has a unique way of creating these things in front of you that make you complacent, comfortable, and procrastinate. The system and what you do and what happens within that system is you get caught up and become the hamster in the wheel, where all you feel like is you're constantly, you know, have you ever felt, what was that? What's that term that they say where it's like, you ever met somebody that's doing so much, but they ain't going nowhere?
Oh yeah, they know.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be that person. You never want to be that person where you feel like you're doing so much and there's no progress, because what happens there? You end up getting deterred, and you feel and you know, you're starting to see things and things start to get difficult, and you're getting discouraged, and you're like, I don't know if I should do this. And that's why 90% of people who are not successful fail, because they stop.
That awesome.
You know?
Become complete. Like I had it was in 2016 when things just started, you know, coming. It's like when shit started happening in my family with family members. It was like, okay, so growing up, I had an older brother that liked to steal a lot of things. Like when it comes to drugs, pretty much drug covered, did everything. Heroin, you name it, did it. And then one day in 2016, I witnessed my brother look like a damn skeleton. It was the worst I had ever seen him.
Oh man.
I saw him coming downstairs and he fell down the stairs. Only words he was saying is that he feels like his life is over. My brother was really counting his last days on them steps. Like, I heard a grown man cry. Like this, me and my mother were downstairs. We were watching TV, and I heard him fall. Now I heard him fall on the stairs. And then he started crying like he had just accepted his fate, like he knew what was going to happen to him. And the very next day, because it was like that same night, he got escorted to the hospital. My older brother's worst fear was going to the hospital. That very next day, I lost him. Because I just knew for a fact I was going to see him again. And we was going to talk about Star Trek. That's all we kept talking about. There's a new game coming out. We're going to talk about it. I lost him. And I asked so many questions. I asked my mom so many questions. I said, Mom, what's going on with JoJo? What's going on with it, man? She couldn't give me his thing because we kept going to the doctor's office. So when we go into the doctor's office and I'm asking him questions, I'm like, so what did you all find out? What was he coming to the doctor's office? Whole time, this brother is going to the doctor's office to get a card to smoke weed. That's it. So I'm like, nigga, was we going to the doctor's office to find out something was wrong with you? And I was so mad. Y'all don't know how mad I was, because I was like, what were we going to the doctor's office for? Was we trying to get like a diagnosis for what was the reason? And then when I find out about what it was tuberculosis that killed him. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. We got CDC coming over here testing our skin and shit. I was like, what the fuck was you into, bro? So that put me into a perspective where I was like, yeah, take care of your health. Like, take care of your health. And then when it comes to you personally, take care of you. Find out what's going on with you first. I was like, man, when I say that scared, that was a scare for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me getting that from my brother. I hated that. I hate that he's gone now, but that was really like, it was upsetting. It was at the same time just alarming to like, yeah, you have to have something to live for. You have to. So that was just something I wanted to share with you guys.
Appreciate that, man. Sorry to hear about that, but yeah, thank you for sharing that, sir. Though, thank you for sharing that, because me being the oldest of 7 children and being the oldest of 4 boys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys. Excuse me. Me being the oldest of us, yeah, bro. That's it. I can see that. I had a mental scare before, and my brother underneath me, who's 2 years younger than me, he had the same type of inquisitive type of trying to figure out what was going on with me, and it scared the hell out of me, and it scared the hell out of my family. So, this is very key, man. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you sharing that stuff, because we never knew that. Well, at least I didn't. I never knew that about you, bro. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, for sure. On that note, team, we're going to take about 5-6 minutes intermission. Guys, get your bathroom break, get your drinks, get your food, and we'll be back. This is Dr. Boyce Watkins with Money, the Ugly Side Revealed Through Corruption, Health, and Inequality. Check this out.
Be a cynic or whatever, but I kind of feel like with the money, and it all goes back to the money. This is why I'm bringing it up during our economic awareness training, is that the money is everywhere. The money is this amazing thing that can be beautiful when it's beautiful, but it can be ugly when it's ugly. And really, it's as much as I talk to you guys about money and what money can do for you, I also really am a person that will warn you that money really is a drug. Money is it's kind of like its own type. It's a financial fentanyl. That's what it is. This financial fentanyl that basically ends up corrupting so many parts of your society. There are some areas of society where money should not be involved. If money should not be involved in specific areas, I'm going to say things like politics. I think they need to take money out of politics, because then your corporations and your billionaires are going to run everything. Money should be taken out of things like healthcare. Because you shouldn't be allowing, the decision to let somebody live or die be based on how much money they have. That's kind of terrible. What else? I think money being involved in things like your educational system causes a lot of inequality in society that just isn't fair for everybody. And it creates this sort of really crappy outcome where certain people get access to certain things that everybody should have access to. And the list kind of goes on and on. And so money is not something that I believe should. It's interesting, because if you ask me my position on money and finance, as a financial scientist, I will say money is something that is involved in almost every leg of our society, but money really shouldn't be involved in a lot of areas of our society. Like, money also corrupts things like even your health, your food. The EPA, or is it the EPA? No, that's the Environmental Protection Agency. The FDA, that's supposed to keep your food healthy. They've been corrupted by money. So whenever they try to go in and say, okay, Americans shouldn't be eating this or eating that, because it's going to kill them, the money comes in. The money walks in. The money's like a person. Like, the money just kind of walks in. I was going to grab my little puppet, but I don't know where it's at. But the money just kind of walks in with a little briefcase, and it opens itself, it lays itself out on the table and says, here's a whole bunch of me. And that's going to change your opinion. And that's going to get you to justify pretty much anything that we ask you to do. That's why to this day, there are foods and stuff like that in the United States that we are told to eat, or that we are told are safe, that are actually banned in other countries. Did y'all know that? How many of y'all knew that? Give me a yes or no if you knew that there are a ton of foods. I was really shocked by this. There are a ton of foods that we eat in the United States that are banned in other countries. So I've heard people talk about, when they go to other countries, I've seen them literally say, I went to this third world country and I was so much healthier than I am here. I went to Guyana with my wife, Which again, that's another area where money's interesting. Again, because this is economic awareness training. I like pointing out all the places that where money has an influence where maybe we don't see it. But in Guyana, where they just discovered a whole bunch of oil, so that's created a whole bunch of problems for Guyana. Kind of like how Diddy used to say, "More money, more problems." Well, Guyana has more money, more problems because they have one of the largest oil reserves in the world. And but when we were in Guyana, my wife and I were out there, and I remember noticing like the weight was just falling off. I wasn't eating that much different from what I was eating in the United States, but I was literally slimming down and feeling healthier. So generally speaking, if you connect the fact, again, just talking about money, and because we're here to talk about economic awareness, even the really big spike in cancer rates in the United States. Is anybody give me a guess if you know this? Give me a guess if you know that. I think the last study I saw basically said that 40% of us in this room are going to die of cancer. The 40 to 50%, like almost half of us in this room right now are going to go out from cancer. And give me a guess if you have a relative who's died from cancer. Both my parents have cancer right now. And they, it's kind of in remission, but still, I don't feel like cancer goes away really. My grandma died of cancer. It's kind of very common, right? So I think a lot of this is connected to the money. The money is so you have these financial cancers that can actually cause real cancer, and a lot of it is linked to the food and the healthcare system. Think about this. This is what's a crazy little financial fact to kind of chew on. Isn't it insane that you have the most expensive healthcare in the world, but you're not even in the top 10 in terms of quality of care? Did y'all know that? I mean, how many of y'all knew that? Give me a yes or no if you knew that. That in the US we spend more money on healthcare than any other country on the planet, but our healthcare isn't even top 20. It's not. I don't even know if it's top 30. I think that we were right behind like Costa Rica in terms of quality of care. So I'm sitting there thinking, wait, if we're spending the most money, why are we getting the best care? That's insane to me. And this is what money is kind of doing to the society. So I want to make it real clear for those that are new to our economic awareness training. I'm big on studying the science of money. I think it's very important for us to understand money. I think financial and money consciousness is the most important thing you can do as a survival mechanism in this society. But I'm also a person that wants to remind you that money consciousness means also that you can't get to the point where you have this money worship or this money glorification. If you start worshiping money like a god, then that god is going to curse you like the devil. If you make money into your god, then you're going to find out that money quickly turns into the devil. So don't let the devil eat you up. Like Denzel Washington said, you go to the party just long enough to leave, and you got to leave before the devil gets there. So same thing is true with money. I want you to dig just far enough into money to get what you need and to be financially successful, but you got to leave the party before the devil gets there, because there's a lot of people that have lots of money that are engaged in just horrific life experiences. You might look at maybe you might look at a Diddy or Trump as examples of this. I don't know what your opinion is politically. I don't. It's okay to have an opinion. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican or in between. So
discussing corruption in the healthcare sector. In the private sector alone, this is said to be as much as 28 billion rands a year. It increases the cost of services, and it affects how much you pay for your medical aid. With me to discuss this is Boto Mozia from Discovery Health. Boto, how serious is fraud in the private healthcare sector?
It's estimated that anywhere between 3 to 10% of healthcare spend across the world is attributed to fraud, waste, and abuse. At Discovery, we make recoveries of around 500 million per annum, which represents around 1% of our healthcare claims costs. So the issue is quite a serious one and has a massive and far-reaching impact on healthcare from an affordability perspective, both in South Africa and across the globe.
What's the most common thing that fraudulent people or corrupt people do in the private healthcare sector?
The first one would be what we call card farming. That involves an insured party that takes their medical card and allows their friends or their family to use the same card to get access to medical care. The next one is around what we call ATMing. And essentially what that means is often members would collude with the healthcare provider where the provider submits a claim to Discovery, and then on receipt of payment, the healthcare provider would then split the funds with the member. So we call that ATMing. The other one is submitting false claims. So for services that haven't been rendered, a healthcare professional or a member submits claims for that service, even though the service was never delivered. And then, of course, there's, submitting medical claims where you're disguising, servicing for cosmetic surgery. So somebody undergoing plastic surgery, understanding that it's an exclusion within the medical schemes, but submitting a claim that says, for example, they've had an appendicectomy. Meanwhile, they've had liposuction.
How do you pick it up?
We've got, quite robust systems in place. We've got, world-class analytic capabilities where we are looking at all the claims that we're receiving within a discovery perspective, looking for outlier trends. We also do have a team of around 44 forensic investigators who are also analyzing and auditing claims. They are supported by an additional 50 people across the businesses, which include coding experts, clinical experts, non-disclosure experts, as well as our team of actuaries and analysts as well.
Can you give me an example? So if I had plastic surgery and I claimed for my appendix that was removed, how do you pick that up? What would that team do to discover this?
Our reports will often look at you relative to your peers. So we would pick up where, certain utilization of codes more than your peers and more than our national benchmarks. And once we've picked up that anomaly, we will then audit the claims and look for suspicious behavior. We will also then engage with the practices once we have a feeling that, there is some untoward behavior. And through auditing of actual, hospital records, so we will ask for theater records to actually ascertain what happened within that theater event and all other sort of ancillary claims associated with that medical event, whether it be pharmacy, whether it be hospital records, etc., to kind of paint a holistic bird's eye view of that incident before we can call it fraud.
Once you've caught a fraud, how do you deal with them?
So there's an engagement process where it's an open sort of engagement process with the clinician where we present our findings. And we enable them, we give them the ability to be able to provide supporting, evidence around the anomalies or the trends that we're seeing. And if we identify a provider as having been fraudulent, there's then a legal process that takes place. If it's blatant fraud, ATMing, card farming, etc., those examples that I gave you, we do also have a responsibility to report them to the HPCSA, report them also to the South African Police Services. And parallel to that process, there's then an acknowledgement of debt where the provider does kind of, acknowledge that they were, engaging in fraudulent or wasteful behavior. And then there's a payment process that's put into place. We have a zero tolerance when it comes to fraud. All monies that are recovered through these processes of forensic investigations go back into the trust that holds the members' funds as the custodians of the medical aids.
Can you give me an example of a recent discovery that you made of fraud and how that played out?
We deal with quite a few on a monthly basis, but it's the recent one would be a syndicate where it's both member and provider collusion, both involved, working across multiple practices. In that instance, our analytics are able to quite quickly pick up the relationship between those practices and the members that are involved.
Now, so many people in the country are so concerned that the NHI fund will be a really big pot of money that would be open to corruption and abuse. So what kind of rules would you like to see in place to prevent that from happening? What tips can you give?
I think it's important to note that fraud exists across all industries, whether public or private. And so you need robust processes in place to be able to detect fraud in a timeous manner, and then obviously processes in place to be able to recover those funds on behalf of the NHI fund as well. So it's a team of experts in the discovery ecosystem. As I've mentioned, we've got our forensic investigators, we've got our clinical team, we've got our coding specialists, we've also got our team of actuaries and analysts as well, working hand in hand to be able to detect fraud. So you would expect a similar composition of skills to be able to detect fraud within the NHI fund.
If you didn't have these measures in place to detect corruption and fraud, how much more would premiums have been?
So if we didn't recover on behalf of our members, our premiums would actually be 14% higher than what they are today. So as a direct impact of the work that we do on fraud, we've managed to keep contributions 14% lower than what they would be if we didn't have those processes in place.
Botomozia, thanks very much for sharing your insights.
And we're back, team, after that insubmission piece. First, from Dr. Boyce Watkins, money in a form of corruption. And then two, by that amazing woman right there, she was talking about the corruption of the healthcare system and how service providers in the healthcare system are manipulating and utilizing fraud through certain transactions, whether it be like, on services rendered, or, swiping a card from another family member for services. I mean, anywhere just to make the money.
Look, Aki, sorry to cut you off, but I actually am dealing with that. So remember when I broke my leg?
Mm-hmm.
I went to one hospital to get treatment. That hospital didn't fully treat me, but they were able to, relax me, give me some pain medication and splint up my leg. But they weren't able to fix it. Mm-hmm. And they sent me about my way. Now at the time, healthcare, I was working, and I had my own healthcare, but I had just got on. I was kind of like double covered in a sense,
Yeah.
Where I was paying it through my job, and I was also getting it through the Obamacare or whatever the case may be. Right. I have both. Well, I'm being billed directly from a doctor that didn't do nothing to me at that hospital, because they've been back and forth trying to charge the insurance company that I got for me and trying to get money for that when I had been covered. But because I was double covered, it didn't matter. They were trying to pick. Well, then when I got out of being when I stopped paying for my benefits through my job, because it was just more simpler to stay with the one that I had from the Obamacare, that's kind of where it had messed up. But the doctor has been trying to bill me, personally and directly. And I'm like, I'm not paying for this service because I had services. I had insurance that pays for this. And because you can't figure it out between these two people on who's going to pay, and no, they don't want to pay you, that does not leave me the patient. I had got my care already. That is something that you guys have to deal with, not me. And still to this day, I'm not paying that doctor for something that I had it pretty much had been paid for. That's where the corruption is coming. And you see what I'm saying, like how they can try to corrupt, because now you're sending me a bill for like $2,000, bro. You know what I mean? And it's just like, no. And then you didn't give me care. I went to a whole nother hospital, got in there, had 3 surgeries and had a surgeon, then 3 surgeries and then had physical therapy after and healed. And they covered everything. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. And here's where you're trying to corrupt the system, bro. You're trying to corrupt the system.
It's crazy how you have corporations in the healthcare system utilizing loopholes for greed, right? We're going to talk about Alice greed and corruption here. I've even check this out, team, and you guys can do this simply from Google. Go on the American Hearts Association, and on the American Hearts Association, go to the section where they have their dietary plans. In their dietary plans, where they offer you the quote unquote diet, the food that they're recommending to you is the food that gives you heart disease.
Crazy.
On the American Heart Association, they're providing you the food that causes heart disease. Now, I'm gonna give you 2 companies that are working hand in hand in conjunction with one another, and it's absolutely disgusting. First, you have the pharmaceutical company.
Mm-hmm.
Second, you have the food companies. Third, you have the FDA, the middleman. So the food companies are offering you food that are going to get you sick. The FDA are approving some of these medications and things like that. Hence, to the pharmaceutical company that's paying the FDA underhand to say, here, prove this, right? Just to get you to consume the food that's going to give you the diseases and the sicknesses, to then pay the FDA to approve these medications and these other new, Pfizer's and all these other nonsense that comes out, whether it be COVID related or something to maintain HIV or cancer or whatever the case may be. These things are they're providing you medication to maintain, not to relieve, not to actually heal and overcome things that you're trying to combat in terms of health when it comes to diseases. So the food companies are feeding you food to get you sick. The FDA is approving the medication to help you maintain the sickness. And the pharmaceutical company is providing you the perception that you're going to be okay. All three are all three are.
And the sad part, the ones that deal with the food, if I'm not mistaken, are the same people that deal with like the smoke shops. Not smoke shops like
FDA is Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is food and drug shouldn't even be in the same sentence.
It shouldn't. And it's in the name. That's the funny part. It's in the name,
bro.
The Food and Drug Administration, FDA.
We got to come up with a different acronym for them, but it's foolish, it's detriment, and you need to hold yourself accountable.
But at the same time, it also shows how it shows. Well, I don't know how I can go ahead and put this, but it shows that there is a system in play where people are expendable. That we have so many, and here's the sad part: we have so many vast resources that everyone can eat. Everyone can eat. Everyone can live amongst each other. We should not have people that's living on the street because we have so many vast resources. When did it become when did it become to a point where we have decided that we're going to eradicate people? Because once they reach a certain age, we want to go ahead and get rid of them. And the only way how we can do that is we have to do it in what? In plain sight. How they can do it legally is by doing what? By the food, like what we were saying earlier, through the food that you eat.
They have to make you voluntarily kill yourself so they don't get sued for killing you.
Yep. Yeah. And then here's the thing. And if you don't know the loophole and for the look and stuff, then of course they can't do it. Like right now, I've noticed that there's a lot of stuff that you can eat right now. And it's like, okay, for instance, like out there in California, okay, who in here likes White Castle burgers? Anybody like White Castle burgers?
I ate it. I don't like it, but I ate it.
Right.
Yeah, you ate it. Okay, I kid you not. Next time you go ahead and think about eating a White Castle burger, what I want you to do, look on the back of the package. On the back of the package, at the very bottom, it says in bold, it's like little bitty letters. You'll see it says that these burgers are in a chemical. There's a chemical that causes cancer. They are cooked in a chemical that causes cancer in the state of California. Why is California like? Does California have White Castles? Do they have it?
Because in certain areas, but not everywhere. It's not a major thing out here. No.
And that's why I noticed. I said, go over there to the rich neighborhoods where the stuff is over there in the rich neighborhoods. That shit is not in there. That's why I said it's always in the hood and the low income stuff because they know the stuff's affordable. You're going to go and eat this. And here's the thing. They don't look at nutrition facts. That shit that we see that's on the front of the box, that's commercial. All that stuff is commercial. But the real stuff for the nutrition, that's where it's at. And which we've been talking about this whole time. Why am I eating something and it's not bringing nutritional facts? Like it's not bringing nothing, no nutrients. Like donuts. Donuts is the biggest junk food you can actually say. It really is junk food. There is no type of nutrition you are getting from donuts. Nothing. It's really junk food. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's scary. And the reason, to go back to your point, sir, what they tend to do is they gentrify us, put us in a corner on a map, and they provide us around us. When you step out, every corner has a fast food restaurant.
Absolutely.
Every corner has a fast food restaurant. Every other corner has a liquor store. You know what I mean? So
smoke shop.
And then the smoke shop. So you got all three. You got food that they're feeding you, the drug, the drinks, and the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, I'm gonna give you exactly what you want. And the thing is that we're not. What we have to do is that we have to change the trajectory of the way we're supposed to be consuming and providing.
Yeah.
If you're going to consume, if you're going to provide, you have to find a way to provide something that's going to be amazing for your mind, body, and spirit. You know, open up a vegan restaurant, fruits, vegetables, and all things vegan. Open up a cancer-free. Come up with an idea so that vaping is cancer-free. You know, or don't even. You know what I mean? Like.
There's opportunity. There's opportunity to change certain things. What I've noticed, and you guys can see it for yourself too, is everything that is supposed to be good for you, there's something there, it is utilized in a way that could be bad. You have to find the good portion of it. One of the things about plant-based people is that when people who eat plant-based or they stop eating meat, period, they go to mushrooms, because mushrooms has the mushroom itself, when cooked, has certain textures and consistencies with it that mimic certain things. They have a oyster mushroom that is big like a oyster, but then you can make your shrimp, lobster, and crab from it. You know what I mean? They have the lion's mane mushroom that has that has cognitive function in it. You can create that and make it like your regular plant-based, like your regular burger. You get what I mean? You can flatten it out. They got cauliflower you can use to make like a burger, and all you doing is seasoning it and giving it the flavor as if it's like a burger, the same what you would do on your regular hamburger, the meat one, right? There's so many different alternatives and different things. You just have to find the good, because within everything that is good, you can find something bad, and within anything that is bad, you can find something good out of it, because both, they have to work hand in hand with each other, because one cannot exist without the other. If one existed without the other, that one wouldn't exist. What I mean by that is, imagine if nothing was bad, everything was good, then there's nothing to counteract that, and you can't confirm that, okay, this is good, because there's nothing bad to say that can be bad. There's nothing to say, oh, that is bad, or something in that is bad. You have that. This is what you have to do, and this is why it is important to do research. And a lot of the scripture that has always been quoted, it says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. When you lack knowledge, you lack understanding, you lack the information, unfortunately, you become a victim of whatever happens, because you lack the information of it. Now, I'm not saying that that's like the main excuse or whatever, because there's some people who have where they're destroyed because they don't have the knowledge. They lack the knowledge, but they also don't have the resources to gain the knowledge either. So they're you know what I'm saying? So unfortunately for those type of people, or for those scenarios and situations, that's just what it is. But knowing that if you have the ability to know that there's information out there that you can utilize, and it can make a difference and change it, then don't lack on the knowledge. Then, what I'm saying, go get the knowledge.
100%. I love that. I love that. I love that. Sir, how does it make you feel knowing that they have colluded and convoluted in a way in the last century? These families, there's like, I don't know the exact number, but I know there's like 11 to 13 families that have colluded and convoluted in a way to structure this system to stay at the very top, and everybody fight for crumbs at the very bottom. How does it truly make you feel?
It makes me angry. It makes me angry knowing that there's a system that's at play that is letting us know that we're slaves. I understand that we are slaves for the rest of our life, and it only gets better once you've decided to fight for what you believe in. You know, it's one thing to go ahead and fight for that slice of pie. You know, all of us are fighting for that. We're fighting for a better tomorrow. We're fighting for, we're fighting so therefore our families can go ahead and live off the fruits of our labor. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot for everyone to understand that. Like, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 13 different families, and each one has their role in whether it's the food, the drug industry, anything. I even believe like one of the families that everyone I know that probably knows, y'all probably know the Waltons, Walmart. Their whole family is based off of like they have all those different buildings and everything, and people faithfully go ahead and shop at Walmart, but they're one of the most powerful, one of the most richest, and they're in your home as you speak. Like, who hasn't shopped at Walmart?
JP Morgan has been around since 1859, the Morgan family.
And look at that. And here it is. They have found a way to basically be inside of everyone's home, whether that's through the banking system. So somehow, some kind of way, you're always going to be rooted into what it is that they do. So there is no escaping that. It's finding a way of how can we go ahead and coexist. And this is what I'm realizing now. We have to find a way to coexist with one another. But at the same time, we have to find things that works for us. Like me, I was like, you can go ahead and say you don't like this person, but I was like, hey, like I said, I ain't about me liking you. I just want to find out how you doing it. Let me go ahead and get a slice of the pie too. And that's all it is. If you can show me how to make this money where here it is, I can still live. I can still be okay. I can provide for my family. Then I'm good. Because like I said, it's so many vast resources that's out here. Yeah, you can be the competition for like the next major corporation or whatnot because you have the next best thing that may be better for someone else, like for someone's family. Like you may have a medicine that's great out there. If you do, be a gatekeeper. Don't share the shit. Be very don't go ahead and be so public with it. Go ahead and keep it to yourself. That's why I don't understand when we have like these new doctors that have found a way to cure cancer, have found ways to go ahead and fight against certain diseases and everything. Have you ever noticed that when as soon as they go ahead and talk about that shit, these people end up getting killed? Yep. Have you ever noticed that? They get killed, and then after that, that's it. Why? Because they're trying to find a way. Like you all realize there is no money in finding a cure. If I find a way to heal you, there is no reason why I need you. How do you get admitted to the hospital? You have to be sick to get admitted. So if I cure you, there is no reason for me to go ahead and do anything. I'm going to patch you up and I'm going to send you the fuck on. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to heal you. But if I did find a way to do that, don't you? And for me personally, I think if they did find a way to heal people, it would make a whole lot more sense. But once again, they can't do that. They don't want to do that because therefore that starts tying into pockets. That starts cutting into other people's pockets. I was like, I don't feel like if we really cared if we really cared so much about people, we would try to go ahead and take care of them. Let you die of old age. That's the whole way how we're supposed to go is die of old age. Not because, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and ease you along. Let me go ahead and have you have this. And then, there plays a role in that because no one wants to go ahead and watch their loved ones go out in a horrific way.
Nope.
I watch my grandmother, and see, that's why I said with me, this is sometimes when I ask the Lord, I said, why me, Lord? I was like, I watched my older brother die of tuberculosis. I watched my grandmother at the age of 6 or 7. I watched her die of cancer. I watched my mother die of a brain aneurysm. All of this shit. I said, why, Lord? Why me out of everybody else from my family? I had to survive looking at all of these things. As a kid growing up, I had to endure all of this. And I said, it all happened from what they were eating. My grandmother was healthy. It all happened from what they were eating.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that because, my grandmother from my father's side never really smoked. She drank on special occasions, and she caught cancer from consuming the wrong food.
Yeah,
and
here it is. We can't even prove it. We can't even then when you sue them, what are we suing? You have nothing to go ahead and stem back to.
And we don't even want to talk about the judicial system. That's a whole other discussion.
Thank you.
A whole nother discussion in itself. But there's unfortunately, we're battling corruption around us. What we have to do is, like Serv said, we have to find a way to be resourceful and powerful within our own network. I truly, one of my ultimate goals is to do what the Jewish community has done, where they're singly in a pack, being resourceful, being powerful within their network of community and people, and helping families get to the next level in their lives.
Well, hey, you only do that portion of what the Jews do. Don't do the other portion of what they did, which is create the systems that we're fucked in.
That we're in, exactly, that we're now. There's a way to flip those systems upside down on their head, and this is how we're gonna get into this wealth building conversation right now. What I want you to do, and this is the third note, what I want you to do, I want you to self-educate yourself, go down the rabbit hole. I want you to grab 4 industries for me. I want you to grab the banking industry. I want you to grab the health industry. I want you to grab the entertainment industry. And then the 4th one you choose. And I want you to self-educate yourself on these 4 different industries, right? Maybe even marketing, in a sense, right? The marketing industry.
Definitely.
I want you to grab these 4 industries: entertainment, marketing, health, and banking. And I want you to turn it upside down on their heads by utilizing the same systems that they utilize against you, and utilize it against themselves, utilize it against them. And I'm going to give you some game. With me, with the banking system, I'm all compound interest, and I'm all utilizing good debt against them. The only time I take out a loan is if I know I can pay it back in lesser time, so I don't have to pay on the interest rate. I'm not going to give you what you want. You got me on a 6 month to pay back this 500. Well, guess what? I'm paying back this 500 in 3 months. Compound interest, make your money work for you. We said it in the last episode. There's literally 5 companies that NVIDIA is invested in, the billion-dollar corporation, the tech company that's invested in 5 other companies that has a growth of up to 240% within the last year. You put $1,000 into that growth system, into those 5 companies, you got $3,500 at the end of the year. That's game. That's $1 a day almost. Stop playing with me. The next thing I want you to, that's not even $1 a game. That's more than $1 a game. That's times 2, right? That's
$100
yeah, that's like $2 a day. Yeah. But I will figure out the math on it. But either way, that 1,000 turns into 36.50. The next thing I want you to do, is from the entertainment industry, right? What I want you to take from the entertainment industry is find out your strongest ability, right? And turn it into a business. WWE has found a way through storytelling and through the nature of buildup, through the nature of heel and babyface, the good guy versus the bad guy. Find out if you're the good guy or find out you're the bad guy. For example, JR is the good guy. Jayonce is the bad guy. I'm gonna be the baby face. I'm gonna be the baby face when I'm JR, but I'm gonna be the heel when I'm Jayonce, and not even a full-on heel. What I do is when I entertain, I like to poke the bear, so to speak, during interactions, during a battle, and I talk my shit like a heel, like a bad guy. I took a form of WWE and I turned it on their heads. What's even more special is that the community loved it so much that it was a live stream character that now I'm producing content for SNL style. That's how hence you see the single father, JR, and then you see Jayonce, the babysitter. And that's how we turn that upside down. The next industry I want you to look at is the healthcare, the health system, right? Watch how they provide things that are meant to make you sick and combat it by providing in your household things that make you better, health-wise, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And exercise. Instead of getting that gym membership and never going to the gym, well, guess what? If you know you're not going to go to the gym, cancel the gym membership right now and do that 30-minute daily walk that I mentioned. That second note. Another thing, talking about canceling memberships, go through your financials right now and cancel all memberships that you haven't utilized within the last 3 months. Cancel them.
Mm-hmm.
Cancel them. You'll save more money. And when you cancel them, you know what you can do? Go into my Discord and subscribe. You can grab that subscription right there is where you need to be at. And you get a 20% discount when you subscribe for 12 months. It'll be one of your best investments ever. Right? And make sure you check out that super chat sticker down below in the chat. When you see that little dollar symbol, any contributions towards that elevates the experience of the podcast. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And then fourth, marketing. Market your value. Market your value every single day. Market your value, what you have to offer. What do? Every day, I'm live streaming. Once a week, we podcast. We offer you the value. We grab a whole week of experience, wrap it up, put it into a nice little package, a nice little bow, and offer it to you like this. Unified Media Podcast. The last 7 days. Right. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't have it any other way with ONCL The One and Survival Skills. And make sure, do me a favor, follow them on all platforms. Follow them on all platforms, because once Aki, is relieved of his classes, and he's balanced out, work life with parenting and family, and then once Serve actually starts producing motivational content, I'm about to text Serve every day. Where's your 30-second motivational content piece? I'm waiting for the survival tea. For the survival. I'm gonna text. Matter of fact,
Serve, write that down. That man gave you the ultimate, a survival tea, bro. Ooh.
Survival tea. Come on.
I have thought of some things, like even like what I'm talking about with you guys right now, from what JR was saying. There was some stuff I was writing down in my own words. Today we're talking about, like right now in this piece that JR is talking about, we're talking about a system of money. So in a system of money, I want everyone to think about this. Get out your pen and pad if you don't have that right now. And where does money come from? Like, all money stems from an idea. Correct? Would my brothers go ahead and say that is correct?
That is correct.
All money stems from an idea. That's mental currency. So in that, knowing that mental currency is that's how we get our ideas. The next thing that you need to do with your idea is you need people to partner with the idea. Do you all know the difference between the rich and the poor? Do you all know? Like, just that goes for the chat. Even my brothers. Like, what would your answer be, D1? What is your what do you think the difference is between the rich and the poor? And then JR, you can answer.
I may say, I'm gonna try to say it the best way that I kind of remember it saying, but basically, rich people figure out a way to create the money, and the poor people figure out ways to spend it.
Spend the money, yeah.
Okay, you would say that too. Okay,
I would, just to add to Aki's, I would say the difference between rich and poor's mindset.
Okay, so that would be one. The word I was looking for is leverage. They know how to leverage people's time. I've learned this while working for companies. One of the main things that the rich and the poor, the difference between the two, is that the rich know how to leverage your time.
Love that.
Now, when it comes to leveraging your time, what is the thing that they are doing most of all? What is the product? What is the product that you all think that they're utilizing? When they go ahead and do when you sign up for a company, what do you think the product is? The reason why I'm saying these things is because this is what I'm realizing that they're doing. They're not invested in anything else other than you. You're the product. So when it comes to believing in yourself, you are the product that they are invested in. When you sign up for a company, they're invested into YOU. What makes you stick out than everybody else? Because at the end of the day, they are hiring you because they know that you come with something. And what is this? This is systematically what they're trying to figure out is, are you going to be a person that's just going to be that person that needs instant gratification? This is a person that needs instant gratification is the person that I need to pay right off, right? That's the person I have to go ahead and pay right off right now because I know this person needs money. Then on top of that, that's letting me know that you're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole. The person that needs to be paid later is going to be what? That's going to be known as my managers, my supervisors, because these are the people that systematically can go ahead and do what? They can inspire people, they can build people, and these are the people that can go ahead and preach my message. They can go and preach out that message. So that's another one I said. So another thing that we have, what else is an idea? An idea is proven. What's the difference between a dream and a wish? Do you all know what the difference is between a dream and a wish? I take it back. An idea and a dream. What's the difference between an idea and a dream?
An idea. Shit, I would want to say an idea is something that can be tangible and my wife said a concept in a moment, and then a dream is something, that people, a dream is something that people think about and would love to accomplish, but just don't know how to go about accomplishing it.
I like that. What do you think, Yvonne?
I'll piggyback off of that. Pretty much an idea is just a concept of something that can be worked towards. A dream is, well, I wouldn't say work toward. An idea is just something that is motivating. An idea is something that's motivating. A dream is something that's inspirational.
I like that. I like that.
And I love everyone's answer. So the difference between a dream and an idea is a dream is a wish. A dream is a wish. That is something that you're manifesting. An idea is proven. You all have proven time and time again that all you have to do is first you have to dream about it, which is true. And then after that, when you have the idea, you manifest it. You turn it into something that has been proven. JR, you have proven time and time again that all you have to do is have the idea to leverage other people, and you can make money with them. You're not making money off of them. You're making money with them. And that's what I was saying. When you have the idea, that's what you were talking about earlier in this system of money. I feel like what everyone needs to do is they have to understand that they are the product, and they have to have an idea and partner with other people with this idea that believe in the idea to make money off of it and turn it into a proven fact. And how do you do that? The idea is proven when it is worked out and you have what? Testimonies. If we're going to make this turn into something, you have to have testimony. So when I saw earlier in the chat, when one of the young ladies said that JR, because of what you did, you helped her get better in YouTube. That's a testimony. What we have to do is start thinking like this as a business like a business construct. If we're really going to start doing these things, as far as like with the podcast, my idea from the podcast is that I want to inspire people and I want them to do. It's not just us coming on here to talk to people. Chat, if you all think that's what we're doing, you're absolutely mistaken. We're here to inspire you. We're here to go ahead and give you that game. So therefore, it's going to get you up off your lazy ass and go out there and do something about it. Because at the end of the day, even with health, the only way how you're going to change what you want to happen into your life is that you have to get up off your butt. You have to say, like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired of accepting the breadcrumbs and I'm ready to get something out of this. That's my survival tip of the day, because of the fact that I want people to go out there and do something about what they do not like about their life. We gave you all game about finding something that you all want to eat. Take something that you find is like
it's not good or not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Replace it with something that is, and that's one. You don't have to. We're not telling you go get a whole grocery list and change up your whole refrigerator and cabinet, man. But it starts small. We know
like that. We have to start small. And then JR was letting you all know from different systems of what you all can do and how you all can manifest these things and turn this into something. Mine is just make sure that when you all have these ideas, make sure capitalize off of them. If you feel that you're a barber, you have skills when it comes to cutting hair, go ahead and capitalize off of that. How can you go ahead and turn that into an actual business? If you're making music right now, how are you like really pushing your music? Are you sitting on ideas? Like, have you created content and then you're just sitting on the idea and waiting for that to come on out? Are you waiting for the opportunity? No, start pushing that idea more. Start pushing out your music. If you don't have a marketing plan, come up with a marketing plan. You have to start doing these things, because at the end of the day, my major thing is you are the product. Right. How are you selling yourself to everybody around the world?
Look, I'll add to that, sir, because what you said, and that's why I had a little smile and chuckle. Is I asked my children this, and this is a critical thinking thing for a child, because these children are 8 and 9 years old. I asked them, tell them the thing. I said, what do you think is easier? Is it easy to live or is it easy to die? First, they didn't really think about it. They gave me an answer and they just said live. And I looked at them. I said, sure, think about this. Think about this. And they was just like, well, to die. I said, why? Why do you think it's easy to die? And they really couldn't think it. So they was waiting. I said, when you die, do you have to do anything? And they was like, well, you can't. I said, exactly. So it requires work to live. You want to live, it requires the work.
It does.
It's plain and simple. That's just saying what you said in a more simple, not simple, but more just, in a direct way for some people who may not understood exactly what you were trying to say. When it comes down, and what we are all trying to say is, you have to do the work. You can't do it, because if you don't do the work, you do nothing, you die. And when we do it, and one thing we talk about, and when I do my Shabbat readings on Fridays and stuff like that, is, scripture is Romans 6:8. To be carnally minded is death, and to be spiritually minded is life and everlasting. Right? To be carnally minded, it just means to be flesh. The flesh dies. The spirit doesn't.
Yeah.
So when you're spirit minded or history minded, history driven, and you yearn for deeper understanding, that allows you to live longer, because you're able to endure more. You're putting in work to endure. You know what I'm saying? You're exercising this brain and your brain, which is the muscle up here, right?
That's the Gemini in you, bro. I hear it. That's the brother Gemini. I hear it.
You know,
I hear it, bro.
You know how it is, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you have to learn, but I'm saying that because you guys continue to help along with my wife. I love that. I love that woman, man. She's you when you get you that right one, you get you that right one. You know what I'm saying? A man who finds a good wife finds a wife finds a good thing. And definitely that statement is oh so true. But I'm saying that because my name in Hebrew is Asael. AAS in Hebrew is pronounced Ayin Shin Hey Aleph Lamed. It means to do. TODO, to do. What does that mean? That it's a vast majority. To do something, it doesn't matter what it is, it's you doing it. And then a definition of what it means to be perfect is to do, is doing. So perfection, my name it's in my name, which why, I like that we had this conversation, and I had this all the time, is I do a lot, very skilled, not skilled, but I do a lot. I know how to do a lot of things. The only thing I have mastered is the ability to know that I'm capable to do whatever I want to do. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like they have that term, the jack of all trades. Like I know how to do a lot of things. I have not mastered all of those things, but in my doing of those things, I'm becoming a master of them.
Ties into how you created that song Effort, because that's what you were doing. Wow. Okay.
I'm Mr. Effort, bro. I'm Mr. Effort.
I got you. And I wanna close out on this by tying it all together with what Serv and Aki just said. And I threw it in the Discord and I sent it in the Unified group on Instagram. Number 1, the rich leverage your time. Number 2, companies are invested in you. Number 3, Algorithms are pinpointing your triggers on what you like to purchase. Number 4, ideas are motivational. Our dreams are inspirational. Idea is proven. Dream is a wish. Number 5, make money with your people. You are the product. Turn it into a proven fact. Number 6, you have to have testimony. Business, construction. Number 7, provide value and quality. Number 8, find your skill and market it.
That's it.
That is
Right
a
there.
blueprint for you right there.
And that
Is part of being a corporation. That is what a corporation does, is those simple principles right there as well. You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
And flip it on their head. Flip it on their head. Man, what an amazing episode. Last 2 weeks have definitely been productive and motivational and inspirational, to say the least. I do plan on catching up with you brothers in terms of some things that I'm working on the business end and on the back end that I would love to incorporate you guys more on, to get some insight and some direction, and maybe even, you know, like I said, get you guys also on the business side of those things, so that way we can get more time freedom to be even more productive with each other. But yeah, what a great episode. Thank you to the whole Unified that tapped in. We had as high as nine people in the chat. I'm sure
Mama was in there. My mama was watching.
Shout out to the queen.
Mama. Shout out to Mama.
Yes.
Shout out to the queen. Mama was in the building. We appreciate you and everything that you do for the family. And Serve, thank you for being so transparent today, with all that humility, with that story about your brother. May he be guided and protecting you every step of the way, moving forward throughout your life, with all the decisions that you've made. Everything that you've overcome, brother, is again, hence, a testimony into why you are becoming the greatest version of yourself, and you will continue to become the greatest version of yourself with every step that you take, as well as ONTL Dewan and myself and everybody in the chat included. So we appreciate y'all. Stay tuned in, stay locked in. We got 5 more episodes of Unified Media, and then we're going to take a month break and come back with Center Stage. Is it going to be Center Stage season 5? Season 5, Center Stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Start sending that music.
Yeah, start getting that music ready. Start getting that music ready.
Yes.
It's funny. I haven't been on the season in a while.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
We need that red light. We need that black light. Have a
wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll leave you this, JR. I appreciate you leaving what you left.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this as well, man. I've said it before on multiple episodes. I'm gonna continue to say it. And it is something that I'm doing my best to continuously live by as well, man. Love is change, and change is love. If you love yourself, you will change yourself. If you love someone else, you will help them love themselves to change themselves. Love is change, change is love. And if you don't believe me, go look up the word love and it's going to give you the definition of affection, and affection is going to give you the definition of effection, and effect means a result. So it means to change.
Don't let that go over your head.
Don't let it, please. If you got the George Jefferson right now, I'm sorry. Look, let it land on your head and your hair grow back.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the right hairline too when you hit the barber shop for the fellas. And ladies, if your forehead's too big, drop the bangs.
There you go.
See y'all next Sunday, man. Stay blessed, everybody. Protect your mom, protect your peace, protect your home.